Stop! Don't spend that old 1979 Roosevelt dime just yet. Because today, we are looking at a coin that could have a story hidden in the smallest details. And if your coin has something truly unusual going on, you may have a very interesting collectible on your hands. Welcome back to Coin Master USA, where we search through America's coins to uncover the stories, mistakes, varieties, and rare discoveries that collectors dream about finding. Today, we are starting with coin number 1, the 1979 Roosevelt dime with no visible mint mark. Now, before you reach into your pocket, your coin jar, or that old collection sitting in a drawer, listen carefully. There is one very important thing you need to understand. A 1979 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark is not automatically a multi-million-dollar coin. In fact, normal examples of the 1979 Roosevelt dime are generally worth close to face value, especially in circulated condition. But that does not mean you should ignore your coin. Why? Because coin collecting is all about details. The date, the mint mark, the condition, the strike, the surfaces, and most importantly, whether the coin contains an authentic mint error or an unusual variety. And that is exactly where today's story becomes interesting. Imagine finding an old Roosevelt dime in a box of coins that has been sitting untouched for decades. You pick it up. You turn it over. You look at the date. Then you look closely for the mint mark. Nothing. No D. No S. Just a seemingly ordinary Roosevelt dime. At first glance, you might think, this is just a 10-cent coin. But experienced collectors know something very important. Never judge a coin by its face value alone. The first question is always, why does this coin look the way it does? Let's take a closer look. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The design was created by John R. Sinnock and has remained one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. By 1979, the Roosevelt dime had already been part of American history for more than 3 decades. But there is something else you need to know. The United States Mint produced enormous numbers of Roosevelt dimes during this era. That means most ordinary 1979 examples are not rare simply because they are old. And this is where many online coin videos become misleading. A coin being old does not automatically make it rare. A coin having no mint mark does not automatically make it worth millions. And a coin being in old condition does not automatically create a huge value. The real question is whether your particular coin has something unusual that professional collectors can verify. So, if you have a 1979 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark, the first thing you should do is stop. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Don't scratch it. And don't try to make the mint mark disappear. Cleaning a coin can seriously damage its collector value. Instead, examine it carefully. Look at the date. Check the entire surface. Inspect Roosevelt's portrait. Look closely at the lettering. Study the rim. Examine the reverse design. And then ask yourself, is this simply a normal Philadelphia minted coin? Or is there something else going on? This is where the story becomes much more exciting. Collectors are always interested in genuine mint errors and varieties. A true mint error can happen when something goes wrong during the manufacturing process. Sometimes a coin may have an unusual strike. Sometimes a design element may be missing. Sometimes a die can become damaged. Sometimes a coin may be struck incorrectly. But here's the key. Not every unusual-looking coin is a mint error. Damage that happens after the coin leaves the mint is called post-mint damage, and it usually does not create the kind of value that collectors associate with major mint errors. That's why authentication matters. If you believe your 1979 Roosevelt Dime has something unusual, the smartest move is to have it examined by a reputable numismatist or professional grading service. A professional can help determine exactly what you have. And this brings us to the most important part of today's video: the $9 million claim. You may have heard dramatic claims online about certain coins being worth enormous amounts of money. But here's the truth every serious collector should remember. A claimed value is not the same thing as a confirmed auction price. For a coin to truly be worth millions, there would need to be extraordinary evidence. The coin would likely need to be exceptionally rare. Its authenticity would need to be confirmed. Its condition would need to be extraordinary. And most importantly, there would need to be strong evidence from the actual market, such as documented sales, professional evaluations, or major auction results. So, if someone tells you that every 1979 Roosevelt Dime with no mint mark is worth $9 million, don't believe that claim without proof. Instead, become a smart collector. Learn, research, compare, and verify. Because the real excitement of coin collecting isn't just about finding a coin that someone says is worth millions. It's about discovering something unusual and proving exactly what it is. Now let's imagine a different scenario. Imagine you have a 1979 Roosevelt Dime. You look at the coin. The date is clear. The coin is in surprisingly strong condition. The details are sharp. The surfaces are clean and attractive. And then you notice something that doesn't look normal. Maybe there is an unusual strike. Maybe there is a genuine die variety. Maybe there is an authentic mint error. Suddenly, you have a reason to investigate. This is why collectors should never throw away old coins without looking at them carefully. Even if the coin isn't worth millions, you could still have an interesting collectible. And sometimes, the story behind a coin can be just as fascinating as its price. Think about the millions of Roosevelt dimes that have passed through American hands. They have traveled through stores, restaurants, gas stations, vending machines, bank rolls, coin jars, and family collections. Some have been saved for decades. Others have disappeared from circulation. And a small number may have unusual characteristics that collectors want to study. That's the magic of numismatics. One tiny detail can change the entire story. But remember this important rule. Never clean your coin. Never scratch it. Never alter it. And never trust a huge valuation without evidence. If your 1979 Roosevelt dime appears unusual, take clear photographs of both sides. Make sure the date is visible. Show the entire coin. Take close-up images of the areas that look unusual. Then compare your coin with reliable references and, if necessary, seek professional authentication. And now, here's the question I want you to answer. Have you ever found a 1979 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark? Did you find it in your pocket change? An old family collection? A coin jar? Or maybe inside a forgotten box in your attic? Tell me in the comments. And if you have a coin that looks unusual, describe exactly what you found. Because you never know when a simple-looking coin could turn into an interesting numismatic discovery. Now let's talk about condition. Condition is one of the biggest factors in determining the value of a coin. A heavily circulated coin may have scratches, wear, and damaged details. A coin in uncirculated condition may preserve much more of its original appearance. But even a beautiful coin is not automatically rare. This is a critical lesson for every new collector. Rarity plus condition plus authenticity plus demand. That combination is what can create serious collector value. So when you look at your 1979 Roosevelt dime, don't just ask, "How old is it?" Ask, "How rare is it? Is it authentic? Is there a genuine error? What condition is it in? And has a coin like this actually sold for a high price?" Those are the questions that serious collectors ask. Now let's imagine you take your coin to an expert. The expert examines the date, the surfaces, the strike, the rim, the design, the mint mark area, everything. And then the expert says, "This coin needs further investigation." That moment would be exciting, because now you have moved from speculation to research. And that is exactly what makes coin collecting so addictive. You start with a simple question. Is this coin special? Then you begin searching. You compare examples. You study auction records. You learn about minting processes. You discover varieties. And suddenly, that little 10-cent coin becomes a piece of American history. So, could a normal 1979 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark automatically be worth $9 million? No. There is no reliable evidence that an ordinary 1979 no mint mark Roosevelt dime has a $9 million market value. Oh. But could an authentic, extraordinarily rare mint error or unique variety be worth far more than face value? That's a much more interesting question, and the answer depends entirely on the exact coin and what makes it unusual. And that's why you should always investigate before you spend. Because the most important thing is not the number someone puts in a thumbnail. The most important thing is the evidence, the authentication, the rarity, the condition, and the real market. So, if you're watching this video from the United States, go check your coin collection. Look through those old jars. Check those inherited collections. Look through rolls of coins. But don't expect every old dime to be a fortune. Instead, learn what you're looking for. Learn how the mint produced these coins. Learn how to recognize genuine errors. And learn how professional grading works. Because knowledge is the most valuable tool a collector can own. And now, before we move on to coin number 2, let's recap today's discovery. Coin number 1 is the 1979 Roosevelt Dime, with no visible mint mark. It's an interesting coin to investigate, but the absence of a mint mark alone does not make it a $9 million coin. The real value depends on the exact characteristics of the individual coin. So don't clean it. Don't alter it. Don't throw it away. And don't believe an unbelievable price without proof. If you think your coin may have a genuine error or unusual variety, get it professionally examined. And who knows? Maybe your coin isn't worth millions. Maybe it's worth face value. Maybe it's worth a little more. But the only way to know for sure is to investigate. And that is the true excitement of coin collecting. One small coin, one tiny detail, one unexpected discovery, and a story that could have been hiding in plain sight for decades. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1979 Roosevelt Dime, make sure you stay with us because coin number 2 could be even more interesting. And remember, before you spend an old coin, look twice. Because sometimes the smallest details can tell the biggest stories. This is Coin Master USA. Keep searching, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next coin.